All right, folks, so we're starting on the tile again today. I'll just be working my way up. And I'm also in the garage working on the cabinets, the Vanity, building those out, and I'll show you some of that in a bit. Cheers.
folks, so here's the design for the Vanity. This is going to be a quartz top with a 3-inch backsplash. And then we've got 4 drawers. So both sides are identical, and then we have a door there. So both sides have a door and 4 drawers. And the drawers are 5 inches, 6 inches, 6 inches, and 8 inches going down, and a 2.5-inch drawer on top. And then the stub leg is going to be set back from the front legs like the sides are, so that your feet can go under the corner without hitting your toes as you're sitting in the middle area. Notice the floor is slanted. The legs are all going to be the same length, but the floor is slanted, so I'm accounting for having adjustable feet. And then the line you can barely see there in the back, that's the stub wall that houses the extra insulation and pressure plumbing. And you see here on the right side view with a cutout for the tile and a cutout for the stub wall. And then there's going to be a 3-inch by 3/4-inch board at top and bottom. Here is the profile for the sink on the front view on the one side, so that this is going to inform the cutout for the top 5-inch tall drawer. And so the rear of the drawer and the left side of the drawer are going to be shaped to accommodate the underside of the sink, so that we can maximize the number of drawers.
right, folks, I'm going to wrap it up for this episode here. This is the cabinet, the Vanity. It's upside down. But this is a dry fit. So let's see. The bigger holes here are doors. And then there's 4 drawers that go in here. 5-inch, 6, 6, and then 8. And then down here is a 2.5-inch tall drawer. And this is where the legs go, chair, into this area. I've got 2 stub legs to put on here. They'll be joining somewhere in this region, going up, just so that this corner here is free for feet to pass through without knocking against some leg that's, if this extended all the way down to the floor. Yep. And then, of course, so 4 drawers here, same size, 5, 6, 6, 8. A door. That'll be some sliding shelves in here amidst the plumbing. And these are the joints that I was cutting earlier. Some of them turned out well, some not so well. And that's fair. It's okay. That turned out okay. That one's probably the best one. It turned out well. Obviously, the straight ones that were just cutting out a big chunk, those were easy. And then, yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. Next step is going to be cutting plywood to make a stepped plywood back that goes in each of the 3 holes here in the rear, just to cover that up. Then I got to cut the bottoms that go up in here. And once I cut all those and glue those 3 panels, the rear panels together, then I can sand and do a final assembly and prepare for doing the drawers. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers.